misleading, and it was silly from the first place. Why does 13 nanometers have to do anything with rayas? It was just certain things that are said with a absurdity, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't even be. The truth is, they wrote. I'm talking about the Chamim involved. This is yisroel. They wrote to me that they're masking this thing with it being in the caves has nothing to do with anything. They wrote in the beginning of their letter, and these things are just made to confuse people. Now, and the Latin words, I want to tell you about Latin words. I don't know much about Latin. The Radzina also had a raya, that it's the squid, also from Latin words. In the Einat Cheles, page Chav Dalet, he has rayas. The Itter calls it lamasma, the squid, and he brings that in Latin, the Itter calls that the chalazin with a lashon lamasma. I may not be pronouncing it right, but no one knows the difference. And in Latin, it's the same word. So, and he writes, "Anu tmeim al mishu ben tarish yefakfek b'rayazu." He says the Chacham Tzvi ki yaitzabai put a raya linyan dina l'gabi the marar l'shaynis from the lashon of Latin. So he says he has a raya brura from Latin. That's first of all. And second of all, they bring a raya from a redak, from the Latin word used in the redak for the chalazin. It's hard to tell from the sefer it's the redak or if it's a different one of the rishonim, that's this chalazin. But it's a pliya, because that redak, I have the lashon here, he's describing something he saw and he has. And they're saying he was talking about the murex and he had it in front of him and he called it this Latin word, which is this murex. So why didn't the redak put on techelet if it's that way? Like, why didn't he? If he had everything we had, and he meant, and we're in a raya for what he said. My point is that raya is from Latin l'shaynis. Nobody, you don't pass on halachis. If you have halacha, you bring a raya. It's a nice raya. We don't pass it from the archaeology of the caves, not from the Latin. We have to pass it based on rishaynim, paiskim, on gemaras. To me, it's a bit of a dover pella, the whole mahalach. Now, I do want to tell you that another thing that they're very strong about. I'm quoting from the Hagdama that they wrote to me in their letter. Oydesh lahagdim bibir maus achalazn. Dover yoduahu l'chol baki b'lashon kodesh. Shem chalazn v'shem kailu l'sug mesuyim shel balei chayim. The chalazn is not an individual creature; it's a family. K'shem sha'oif hu shem kailu l'sug shel balei chayim hu kailu torim b'nei tarnagaylas nesharim. It includes everything. Kein shem chalazn kailu chol sugei balei chayim shelo shem kulakiyah. All creatures that have a snail's, what's the word for it? Kanuchia, I guess, is the... Okay. V'gufan rach v'ein lem evarim v'zechan ha'aretz. He writes a davar yidu al hakol, and they repeat it a few times. It's not a davar yidu al hakol. There were gedolei olam who held that the squid is the chalazin, and it's a fish. It doesn't crawl on the ground, and it doesn't have on its back. It doesn't have a little house on the back. So to say that the chalazin is snails is fine. But to base a shita, davar yidu al hakol, the Marsham entertained the passage. It said that the Marsham wore the Radzina's techelet. I don't know if it's true or not. They say he wore it secretly. And the Rishula Kutner, in the letter printed in the Einat Cheles, is masking that it could be the techelet. And the Beis Halevi, in his rejection of it, he didn't say it can't be a fish. Nobody said it. So my first point is, it really doesn't shtim with Gemaras. It's a tmiyah. To me, it's a tmiyah that people would feel there's a possibility that it's it. Someone would ask me, why don't you wear techelet? They ask me in the street, the short answer. I tell them, look, it's 50-50 if it's a fish or a snail. That's 50-50. Then, there's a three-way machlaikis if you need one string of techelet, or two or four. So that's right away, like 75-25, I'm doing it wrong. So, like, what are the odds that it's correct? The long answer is really that you have these three starka kashas. That if the molecule is identical to Kali Ilan, it can't be it. It cannot be it. And that Yechayiv on Seida, it can't be it. You're not Chayiv on Seida. And if you need it, Zvulun, so if I care, it has to be something in the deep sea. It can't be something you can catch at the beach. The films they took showing people bringing it up were taken from the beach, from the ground. They're just with a video camera of the people going out in a little boat and getting it. You don't need sailors for it. You get yeshiva boys to do it. Anyway, that's my point. My point is a halacha point. I don't mean to do anything political. I think in certain circles, the techelet is very much like the black hat is in the yeshiva world. It took on a meaning of its own. It identifies you with a certain Toradic evelt. And so I'm not saying there's no avera to wear it, that's the old taina. But this giloi, that if you sit down, you take out Shas, and you take out the svarim that are printed to describe the murex, and you try to make it shtim. If you go just with Rishainim and Gemara, you're going to find very little, come out no rayas. You'll find shverikait with terutzim, or shverikait without terutzim. But just b'derech halimud, to me, it's something of a davar pel. That's the old time. Is anything lost? My answer, anything lost, is that we don't change the way Klal Yisrael. What? Money is one thing. But let's say this. A 2% chance. We don't change Hanhagis and Klal Yisrael on 2% chance. Someone came out with a new tefillin bias for Bar Mitzvah boys. No complaint that the big batim don't fit. So he was a Talmud Bayas and Taravadas, and he came out with it, and he came to Rav Pam. Pam said, wonderful. So I was waiting to see. Rav Pam went to buy, he bought his Einachlos tefillin. He didn't buy it. And the Seicher told him, I have it. He didn't buy it. He says he buys like we always bought. They have the new one that's narrower and taller. It's 100% kosher. But, if you look at it, it doesn't look like the tefillin we wore. There's nothing lost by wearing it. There's lachatchila that it should not be different colors. It should be either white or the color of the beged. You lose that lechatchila. It's not a major loss. I'll give you what they wrote me. It's unedited. They wrote basically a shver anyway. I think that's what they wrote. That Rashi says, tell us, how are you going to answer it anyway? And I'll show it to you. You can read it.
But it's impossible to say that it says on something which needs to be owned.
I don't know the answer. I can give you in the Torah Mada they answered. Also, I don't think the words even make... To me, the words, it's like some lines are missing. I don't know. It doesn't seem to make sense. Okay, we're being told that I have to end with Dvar Machshav, and not Dvar Machshav, what I said already. But, okay, I'll... You might be Mishnah. Okay. Tell you a machshava that I had. It's by me a new machshava. Just thinking about it, it bothered me very often on the bracha Ata Gibar. Laila Hashem. We all know the three brachas of Shemoneh Esrei are Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes. So the first bracha is Chesed, which we can see very well. Shbaruch Hu is Kainei Akel, Zecher Chastei Yavais. The second bracha is supposed to be Gevurah, is Yitzchak. So Yitzchak is Gevurah, is Midas Hadin. So what's the bracha? Mechayah Mesim. As an aside to this, I was once listening to Rav Hutner on tape. He wasn't talking about the Gibar, but he was talking about Chiyas HaMesim. He said Chiyas HaMesim is the biggest chesed that could ever be in the Bria. You give someone Chiyas when you didn't have Chiyas, the biggest chesed. So it reinforced my problem. What's it doing in the bracha of Midas Hadin? Why is the bracha of Midas Hadin the bracha of Chiyas HaMesim? There was something that irked me, and I'm not sure still how to answer it. I don't know why it's not discussed at length. However, there is one mahalach which is maybe a very important mahalach. It's the Gemara Ksubis. The Gemara says that one of Rabbi Yechanan's Talmidim, was Rabbi Chanina, I don't remember, came to him, and he told him that an Am Haaretz doesn't get up at Chiyas HaMesim. You have no Chiyas HaMesim and Olam Haba, two different things. The Kol Yisrael Hashem Chelik Olam Haba. He told him, Am Haaretz don't get up at Chiyas HaMesim. So Rabbi Yechanan said, Lo nichel l'maraychu d'lei mahachi. From Yid, he just never learned. The Ma'ashem doesn't like you should say it. So the Gemara says he came back to him and he said, Matzasi lehem takana. I found a tikkun for them. What's the tikkun? V'atem hadveikim Hashem l'keichem chayim kulchem hayayim. That somebody who supports Lime Day Torah also has a chelik in the limud, Mela has a chelik in Chiyas HaMesim. So what we see from that Gemara is that somebody could be a Yid all his life and keep all the mitzvahs but if he's not zeichet to limud HaTorah, to support limud HaTorah, then he has no chelik in Tchias HaMeisim. This Kol Yisrael Yishem chelik l'olam haba is true. But Kol Yisrael Yishem chelik in Tchias HaMeisim, there's no such hanocha at all. We have someone in our neighborhood, a very nice gentleman who never was in yeshiva. He had a son. His son today is in yisroel. When his son was in 12th grade, he brought him to my house one once a Shabbos. I should talk some sense into him. The son only wanted to learn for the rest of his life. He didn't want to do anything else. And he's only a 12th grader. He already has these mishagasim in his mind. So the father brought him. He was going to Yisrael. Next year, he has to promise to go to college. So well, I knew the father. I told the father, "What did you major in?" He told me. So what's your parnasa in? I know shaykhis, of course. He says, "No, I was different. I was different." "Oh, you're different? Yatziyata d'shmaya, maybe." Yeah. No, circumstances just worked out, So anyway, he was for a year or two very tzibrochen over this. Today, Baruch Hashem, he has nachas. His son is already married, learning in Eretz Yisrael. Every time he says, "I can't believe I have a kid like this." He always tells me, but he's happier. So I told him, "Rebbe Shalom was good to you. You would have no chelik in Tchias HaMeisim." So now you're supporting Bal Karchach, but you're supporting Alay Mitayr. So now, you'll have a chelik. You'll get up with him. You'll be very proud to get up with him at Tchias HaMeisim. The idea of Ata Gibar Elam Hashem seems to be that Tchias HaMeisim is Midas Hadin. That it's not true that a person has a right to Tchias HaMeisim. It has to do with a Midas Hadin of Limud HaTorah. How much Limud HaTorah you need, I don't know. Rabbi Yaakov in the Sefer, in Chumash and Bereshis, he has to explain. Rabbi Yaakov held to say Merid HaGeshem, not HaGoshem. And most of the world changed. When we were boys, everyone said Merid HaGoshem. Rabbi Yaakov said it should be Merid HaGeshem, and it changed. The Kasha said, why is it Merid HaTal? Why is it not Merid HaTal? Those who daven Sfarad say Merid HaTol and Esnachta. So then it's Merid HaGoshem, Esnachta. What's the difference? So Rabbi Yaakov is Masber. He says that Merid HaGeshem goes on the next words. Mechal Kol Chaim B'Chesed. Rain is Mechal Kol Chaim. But Tal has nothing to do with Mechal Kol Chaim. Merid HaTal goes on the Tal HaTchiyah, Tchiyas HaMeisim. It goes together with B'Chaim Meisim Atarav Leishiyah. Merid HaTal it's a Esnachta. That's how Rabbi Yaakov explains it. Even the Tal is Tal of Tchiyas HaMeisim. The point is really that the Tchias HaMeisim is Midas Hadin. It has to do with learning. We may be as bold as to say that really all chiyus that the Rebbeinu Shalom gives, any chayim that the Kadosh Baruch Hu gives, is given with a Midas Hadin, with a demand that a person make use of his time. Animals also are alive. There's no Midas Hadin on animals. They're alive and they do what they want. A human being is given chiyus with the midah of the gevura of the Rebbeinu Shalom, with the demand that the time be used. Yitzchak Avinu was the one who had to touch up why people are wasting their time. The Gemara says in Shabbos. So this machshava is the machshava that I had, that the Ata Gibor L'Olam Hashem, the biggest midas hadin of the Rebbeinu Shalom is the tviyah that has to do with zman, has to do with using one's time, learning properly, using one's time to learn